Feeling broken? This is your sign Allah never left you. There are moments in life when the heart feels heavier than the body. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because your soul is exhausted. You smile in front of people, yet inside you are carrying silent pain, unanswered questions, and worries you cannot explain. In those moments, Shaitan whispers, "You are alone." But today, let this message be clear in your heart. You are never alone. Allah is with you. Allah does not abandon His servants when they are struggling. In fact, it is often in the darkest moments that Allah is closest. When life feels heavy, when doors seem closed, when tears fall in sujood that no one else sees, Allah sees every single one of them. He hears the dua you cannot put into words. He knows the pain you hide behind strength that Allah says in the Quran. But do not lose hope in the mercy of Allah. This is not just a verse, it is a promise. A promise that your sadness is not ignored, your patience is not wasted, and your struggle is not meaningless. Every heavy moment is shaping you, elevating you, and bringing you closer to Allah in ways ease never could. Remember, Allah does not test you because He wants to break you. He tests you because He wants to raise you. The weight you feel today is proof that Allah is preparing you for something greater tomorrow. So when life feels heavy, don't walk away from Allah, walk towards Him. Because the one who placed the test on your shoulders is the same one who will give you the strength to carry it. Allah is closest to you in your hardest moments. Becomes overwhelming and the weight on your heart feels heavier than you can carry. It is natural to assume that Allah is distant. Shaitan thrives in these moments, planting the dangerous thought that hardship is a sign of abandonment. But in reality, the opposite is true. The moments that break you emotionally are often the moments when Allah is closest to you spiritually. Hardship is not distance from Allah. Hardship is an invitation to Him. When everything else in life is stripped away, strength, confidence, control, and certainty, what remains is your connection with your Creator. And it is in that raw, vulnerable state that the heart turns to Allah with sincerity that ease can never produce. Allah, in His infinite mercy, draws His servants closer through trials because He knows that comfort often makes us forget, while pain makes us remember. When life is smooth, we rely on our own abilities, our plans, and our resources. But when life feels heavy, when the path ahead is unclear, the heart instinctively lifts itself toward Allah, searching for relief, guidance, and reassurance. This turning back is not a failure. It is the very purpose of the test. Allah wants you to know that your strength does not come from yourself. It comes from Him. Every tear that falls in silence, every sigh that escapes your chest, and every moment you whisper, "Ya Allah," in exhaustion is a form of worship that brings you closer to Him. Hardship softens the heart in a way that nothing else can. It removes arrogance, breaks pride, and teaches humility. When you reach the point where you realize you cannot carry your burden alone, Allah becomes your refuge. The Prophet taught that Allah descends in mercy during the last part of the night, asking who is calling upon Him, so He may respond. This is not symbolic language. It is a reminder that Allah actively seeks out His struggling servants. When you are awake at night, because your heart is restless, know that this wakefulness itself may be Allah drawing you toward a deeper connection with Him. Feeling close to Allah does not always mean feeling happy or peaceful. Sometimes closeness to Allah feels like crying in sujood, like begging without words, like trusting Him even when you do not understand His plan. These moments are heavy, but they are sacred. Allah is shaping your heart, strengthening your reliance on Him, and preparing you for a level of faith you could not reach through comfort alone. So when life feels unbearable, do not assume Allah has turned away. Instead, recognize that He is near, guiding you, protecting you, and holding you steady through the storm. Even when you cannot yet see the outcome, your pain is seen, heard, and recorded by Allah. One of the most painful aspects of hardship is not the difficulty itself, but the feeling that no one truly understands what you are going through. There are struggles you cannot explain, wounds you cannot show, and burdens you carry quietly while continuing to function in your daily life. People may see your smile, your strength, or your silence, but they do not see the tears you hold back or the heaviness that sits in your chest. In these moments, it is easy to feel invisible. Yet Islam teaches us a powerful and comforting truth. Nothing about your pain is hidden from Allah. Not a single tear falls without His knowledge. Not a single breath of exhaustion escapes your chest without being heard by Him. That Allah's knowledge of your pain is not distant or passive. He knows what broke your heart, when it happened, and why it still hurts. He knows the du'as you make repeatedly, even when you feel tired of asking. He knows the moments when words fail you and all you can offer is silence. Allah does not require eloquence to understand His servant. Even when your heart is too heavy to speak, Allah understands what you cannot articulate. This is why dua does not always need perfect words. Sincerity is enough. A broken heart raised toward Allah is more beloved than a confident tongue without humility. Every moment of pain you endure with patience is being recorded by Allah as reward. Islam teaches that hardship is not meaningless suffering. Each tear washes away sins, each moment of restraint increases your rank, and each instance of patience brings you closer to Allah's mercy. Even the pain that seems small to others, but feels heavy to you is significant in the sight of Allah. He does not measure your struggle by comparison to others. He measures it by what your heart is carrying. When you feel that your suffering is unseen by the world, remember that Allah's record is more valuable than human recognition. There are times when Allah does not remove the pain immediately, not because He is ignoring you, but because He is protecting you or preparing you. What you ask for may come later in a better form, or it may be replaced with something your heart needs more. Allah's wisdom operates beyond what we can see. Trusting that your pain is known and accounted for allows you to endure with hope rather than despair. Even if relief feels delayed, reward is never delayed. So when you feel unheard, misunderstood, or emotionally exhausted, remind yourself that Allah is fully aware. He is closer to your pain than anyone else could ever be. Your suffering is not wasted, your patience is not forgotten, and your tears are not meaningless. They are all written, preserved, and honored by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. Heavy times are not the end, they are a turning point. When life feels unbearably heavy, the mind often convinces the heart that this pain will last forever. The weight of hardship can distort perspective, making it seem as though relief is impossible, and the future holds nothing but more struggle. Yet this is one of the greatest deceptions that hardship brings. In Islam, difficult times are never presented as a dead end. They are described as a passage, a transition, and a turning point designed by Allah with purpose and wisdom. Every trial has an expiry, even if you cannot see its end. Allah, who created time itself, does not trap His servants in permanent suffering. What you are experiencing now is not the conclusion of your story, but a chapter that is shaping what comes next. Allah repeatedly reminds us that ease follows difficulty, and He emphasizes this promise with certainty. This divine reassurance is not abstract optimism. Just as night must eventually give way to dawn, hardship must eventually give way to relief. However, relief does not always arrive in the form we expect. Sometimes Allah changes the situation, and sometimes He changes the heart within the situation. A heart strengthened by faith, patience, and reliance on Allah can withstand what once felt unbearable. This internal transformation is often the first sign that a turning point has already begun. Heavy times force clarity. They strip away illusions of control and expose what truly matters. When everything is going well, it is easy to become distracted by worldly pursuits, attached to outcomes, and confident in our own planning. But hardship humbles the soul. It teaches dependence on Allah rather than on circumstances. In this way, trials refine faith, purify intention, and realign priorities. Many people only discover the depth of their relationship with Allah during moments of struggle. The pain becomes a doorway to sincerity, and sincerity becomes the foundation for lasting spiritual strength. Turning points are rarely comfortable. Growth is often painful because it requires letting go of old versions of ourselves. Allah may be preparing you for responsibilities, blessings, or spiritual heights that your current state could not sustain. The weight you feel today may be strengthening you for what lies ahead. Just as muscles grow through resistance, the soul grows through patience. What feels like delay may be divine timing, and what feels like loss may be protection from something far worse. Allah sees the entire path, while we see only the step in front of us. Most importantly, heavy times redirect the heart back to Allah. They teach reliance, deepen trust, and cultivate humility. When you emerge from hardship with a heart that knows Allah more intimately, you have gained something far more valuable than temporary comfort. This is why many believers look back at their hardest moments not with bitterness, but with gratitude. They recognize that those moments reshaped their faith, strengthened their character, and redirected their lives toward Allah. So if life feels heavy right now, do not assume that you are being punished or forgotten. Instead, recognize that Allah may be guiding you through a critical turning point. Hold firmly to patience, continue turning to Allah, and trust that what lies ahead is lighter, clearer, and filled with wisdom even if you cannot yet see it.